The Awakening. Deep within the Vega sector, where ancient stellar nurseries painted the void in shades of purple and blue, a dormant titan stirred. The UNSS Hyperion, flagship of humanity's forgotten fleet, had slumbered for 40 years in the heart of the Crimson Nebula. Its quantum computers, running on the lowest power settings, maintained vigil through the decades as humanity rebuilt in silence. Admiral Kira Patel stood in her private quarters aboard the Hyperion, watching as status reports flooded her neural interface. After 4 decades of cryogenic sleep, her body felt stiff, but her mind remained sharp. The emergency awakening protocols had pulled her and 5,000 other crew members from their frozen slumber just hours ago. "Arya, give me a complete situation analysis," she commanded, her voice slightly hoarse from disuse. The ship's advanced recursive intelligence array materialized as a shifting pattern of blue light. "Admiral, the surveillance network has detected significant hegemony fleet movements across 17 sectors. Their patterns suggest preparation for a massive military operation. Based on their trajectory and force composition, I calculate a 94.2% probability that Earth is their primary target." Patel's weathered face hardened. The Hegemony Collective, an alliance of technologically advanced species that had spent centuries consolidating their power across the galaxy. They had always viewed humanity as a potential threat, even after Earth's apparent decline following the Cascade War. "Show me the fleet positions," she ordered. A holographic map blazed to life, displaying hundreds of red markers representing hegemony warships. They were moving with purpose, establishing staging areas in a precise pattern around Earth's sector. "The hegemony believes Earth's defenses are minimal," Arya continued. "They are unaware of our existence or the existence of the other 11 fleet groups in hibernation. Their intelligence suggests Earth possesses only a modest planetary defense force." Patel allowed herself a grim smile. The deception had worked perfectly. For 40 years, humanity had maintained the facade of a recovering civilization, barely able to maintain its colonial holdings. Meanwhile, deep in supposedly uninhabitable sectors, they had hidden their true strength, the most advanced fleet ever constructed. "Begin awakening sequences for all fleet groups," Patel commanded. "Priority to combat vessels and carrier groups. And get me a secure channel to Admiral Reza at Fleet Group 7. As Arya executed her orders, Patel received an urgent alert. A hegemony diplomatic vessel had just arrived in Earth's orbit, carrying their high executor. The timing wasn't a coincidence. "Admiral," Arya's tone shifted, indicating concern. "I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the hegemony fleet. They appear to be testing a new form of weapon, something our databases can't identify." Patel accessed the sensor data through her neural link. The energy patterns were like nothing she'd seen before. The hegemony had apparently been busy during humanity's apparent absence from the galactic stage. "Begin full combat simulations using this new data," she ordered. "I want countermeasure options within 12 hours. And wake up Dr. Ishikawa's research team immediately. If anyone can decode these energy signatures, it's them." Across the vast expanse of the Vega sector, other massive ships were coming to life. The UNSS Prometheus, Athena, and Orion, each carrying enough firepower to level a small moon, powered up their ancient reactors. In total, 12 fleet groups, comprising over 300 capital ships and thousands of support vessels, were awakening from their long slumber. On the bridge of the Hyperion, crew members took their stations, their neural interfaces synchronizing with the ship's systems. Captain Viktor Petrov, Patel's executive officer, arrived looking as if he hadn't aged a day thanks to the perfected cryogenic process. "Status of the fleet, Captain?" Patel asked without turning from the tactical display. "All ships reporting a nominal function, Admiral. 40 years of hibernation, and everything's working exactly as designed. Dr. Ishikawa's preservation protocols were flawless." Patel nodded. They had gambled everything on this moment, leaving Earth seemingly vulnerable while hiding their true strength in the darkness between the stars. The hegemony's arrogance would be their undoing. "Arya, show me Earth's current defensive screen," Patel commanded. The holographic display shifted, revealing a complex network of seemingly primitive defense satellites and patrol vessels. But Patel knew the truth: each of those primitive platforms contained quantum-locked weapons that could be upgraded instantly once the signal was given. "The hegemony's high executor is requesting an audience with Earth's Defense Council," Arya reported. Based on intercepted communications, they plan to demand Earth's immediate surrender and integration into the collective. Patel's eyes narrowed. "How long until Fleet Group 7 is combat ready?" "Admiral Reza reports full combat readiness in 6 hours. The other fleet groups will follow within 12 hours. "Perfect," Patel smiled. "That gives us just enough time to let the hegemony think they've won. Arya, begin Operation Phoenix Dawn. It's time to show the galaxy that humanity's slumber was nothing but a dream." As orders flew across quantum channels and massive engines hummed to life, Admiral Patel thought about the 40 years of sacrifice and preparation that had led to this moment. The hegemony thought they were about to subjugate a weakened humanity. Instead, they were about to learn why humanity had been feared across the galaxy. The awakening had begun, and with it, the galaxy would never be the same. Diplomatic deception. Ambassador Theron Blackwood stood in Earth's Grand Council chamber, maintaining perfect composure as High Executor Varthol of the hegemony delivered what amounted to an ultimatum. The towering alien's crystalline exoskeleton caught the chamber's light, creating prismatic patterns across the ancient marble floors. "The hegemony collective offers Earth protection and prosperity," Varthol's translator rendered his clicking speech into smooth English. "Your world has struggled alone long enough. Accept our guidance, and your people will flourish under our leadership." Blackwood, a veteran of countless diplomatic engagements, showed nothing but polite interest. His silver hair and aristocratic bearing masked decades of service in Earth's intelligence apparatus. While he appeared to be simply a skilled diplomat, he was actually one of the few people aware of humanity's hidden fleet. "The Council appreciates the hegemony's generous offer," Blackwood replied, choosing his words carefully. "However, such a monumental decision requires careful consideration. We request 48 hours to deliberate." Varthol's crystalline appendages clicked in what Blackwood recognized as amusement. "Ambassador, perhaps I wasn't clear. This is not a negotiation. Earth will join the collective. The only question is whether it happens peacefully or not." In orbit above them, the hegemony's diplomatic escort, actually a battle fleet of 30 capital ships, maintained position. Their weapons weren't actively targeted on Earth, but the threat was clear. Surely the hegemony, with its centuries of diplomatic tradition, understands the need for proper procedure, Blackwood countered smoothly. 48 hours is a modest request for a decision that will affect billions of lives. As the verbal sparring continued, Blackwood received a subtle neural notification. Admiral Patel's fleet was ahead of schedule. They would be ready in 4 hours, not 6. He needed to keep the hegemony occupied just a little longer. "Very well," Varthol finally conceded. "You have 24 hours. Not a minute more." The collective's patience is not infinite. In his private chamber after the meeting, Blackwood activated his quantum-encrypted neural link. "Admiral Patel, they took the bait. The hegemony believes they're dealing from a position of absolute strength." "Excellent work, Ambassador," Patel's voice echoed in his mind. "We've decoded their new weapon signatures. It's a graviton cascade device, devastating against standard shields, but useless against our quantum barrier technology." Blackwood allowed himself a small smile. "They still think we're using primitive deflector screens. Their entire strategy is based on outdated intelligence. Keep them talking, Theron. The longer they stay convinced of their superiority, the more complete their surprise will be." Throughout the next few hours, Blackwood orchestrated a masterful performance. He called emergency council sessions, arranged diplomatic dinners, and initiated countless procedural discussions, all while Earth's defense grid quietly received updated quantum protocols from the hidden fleet. In his flagship, High Executor Varthol grew increasingly impatient. His intelligence officers reported unusual energy fluctuations from Earth's defense platforms, but their analysis suggested nothing beyond routine maintenance. The humans were putting on a good show of diplomatic procedure, but soon they would learn their place. What Varthol didn't know was that each of those routine fluctuations was actually a complex series of combat upgrades being implemented across Earth's entire defense network. The primitive satellites were transforming into state-of-the-art weapon platforms, their true nature hidden by quantum camouflage. As the deadline approached, Blackwood received word that Commander Rhodes and the stealth ship Aurora had successfully infiltrated the hegemony's rear staging area. The intelligence they were gathering would prove crucial in the coming confrontation. "Your time is up, Ambassador," Varthol announced as he strode into the council chamber. "What is Earth's answer?" Blackwood rose slowly, straightening his ceremonial robes. "High Executor, on behalf of Earth's Defense Council, I regret to inform you that we must decline your generous offer." Varthol's crystalline form pulsed with angry light. "Then you choose subjugation over willing cooperation. So be it." He raised his appendage to signal his fleet. At that exact moment, Blackwood received the final confirmation he'd been waiting for. Admiral Patel's fleet was in position. Earth's defense grid was fully upgraded. The trap was ready. "Actually, High Executor," Blackwood's dignified facade gave way to a predatory smile, "I believe you'll find that the situation is somewhat more complex than your intelligence suggests." Above them, space itself seemed to tear open as hundreds of human warships dropped their quantum camouflage. The hegemony fleet suddenly found itself surrounded by vessels that dwarfed their own, their sensors screaming warnings about weapon systems they'd never encountered before. "You see," Blackwood continued as Varthol's crystalline form paled, "Earth never needed the hegemony's protection. We simply needed you to believe we did." The next few minutes would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy forever, and Ambassador Theron Blackwood had the best seat in the house for the show. The Ghost Protocol. Commander Diana Ghost Santos crouched in the maintenance shaft of the UNSS Aurora, the most advanced stealth vessel ever built by human hands. The ship's quantum phase coating made it virtually invisible to all known forms of detection, but what she was about to attempt would push even those capabilities to their limit. "Sirius, status report," she whispered to the Aurora's AI companion. "Hegemony patrols maintaining standard search pattern," Sirius responded in her neural link. "Their new graviton sensors are sweeping the sector, but our phase shift harmonics are holding. We remain undetected." The Aurora hung silent in space, less than 3 kilometers from the hegemony's massive superweapon platform. Called the World Breaker by its creators, the station was a technological marvel of crystalline engineering and dark energy manipulation. It was also humanity's greatest immediate threat. "Team status?" Santos asked, checking her neural interface with the rest of her infiltration squad. Lieutenant Raj Kumar's voice came through clear, "Engineering team in position. Ready to begin quantum signature analysis." "Security team ready," added Sergeant Maria Volkov. "All escape routes mapped and contingencies in place." Santos took a deep breath. They had trained for this mission for years, but now everything had to work perfectly. While Admiral Patel's fleet revelation had shocked the hegemony, this mission would determine whether humanity could truly counter their most powerful weapon. "Begin Ghost Protocol," Santos ordered. Phase 1 initiation in 3, 2, 1. The Aurora's systems entered an even deeper stealth mode, drawing power down to nearly nothing. Using cutting-edge quantum entanglement tech, the ship's very atoms began to shift slightly out of phase with normal spacetime. Santos felt the familiar disorientation as her own suit matched the ship's quantum state. They were now literally walking between moments of time, a state that made them virtually undetectable but incredibly vulnerable. One miscalculation, and they would phase completely out of existence. The infiltration team moved through the hegemony station like ghosts, their namesake. Even when hegemony guards walked right through their position, the phase difference meant they remained undetected. Their quantum sensors gathered terabytes of data about the station's systems and, most importantly, the world-breaker weapon itself. "Commander," Kumar's voice carried an edge of excitement, "you need to see this. The weapon's core, it's based on stolen human technology." Santos accessed the data through her neural link and felt her blood run cold. The hegemony hadn't developed this weapon independently. They had somehow acquired classified research from Earth's quantum physics labs, research that had been supposedly destroyed decades ago. "Sirius, cross-reference this design with Project Oracle archives," she commanded. "Match confirmed," the AI responded after a moment. "Core design shows 89% similarity to theoretical models developed by Dr. Isabella Martinez before the Cascade War. This technology was thought lost during the Tehran incident." Santos cursed silently. The Tehran incident, when Earth's most advanced research facility had been destroyed in what everyone assumed was an accident. Now it seemed clear, it had been a hegemony operation all along. "New contact." Volkov's urgent warning cut through the command channel. "Multiple hegemony ships entering the sector. Reading energy signatures consistent with their elite Guardian force." Santos checked the tactical display. 7 hegemony warships, far more advanced than their standard vessels, were moving into defensive positions around the station. Their arrival wasn't scheduled for another 6 hours. "They're sweeping the sector with chronometric sensors," Sirius reported. "Our phase shift can't hide us from those indefinitely." Santos made a split-second decision. "Begin data burst transmission to Fleet Command. Encrypt everything under Ghost Protocol 7. Kumar, plant the quantum beacons. Volkov, prepare for emergency extraction." As her team rushed to complete their tasks, Santos accessed one final system through her neural link. She initiated a specialized virus, one designed specifically for this mission. It would lie dormant in the Worldbreaker's systems until activated, giving humanity a crucial advantage when the final confrontation came. 30 seconds until chronometric sensors reach our position, Sirius warned. "Team, return to extraction points now," Santos ordered. "Prepare for emergency phase shift." The next few moments were a blur of precisely coordinated movement. As the team reassembled aboard the Aurora, Santos felt the ship's systems powering up for their most dangerous maneuver yet. "Guardian vessels are redirecting toward our sector," Sirius reported. "They've detected something." "Execute Operation Ghostwalker," Santos commanded. "Full power to phase drives." The Aurora's experimental engines engaged, pushing the ship's quantum state even further from normal spacetime. It was a desperate gambit, one that would either get them safely away or scatter their atoms across multiple dimensions. As alarms blared across the hegemony station, Guardian ships converged on their last known position, the Aurora simply ceased to exist in normal space. To any observer, the ship had vanished completely. When they rematerialized 12 light-years away, Santos finally allowed herself to breathe normally again. They had done it, gathered the intelligence they needed and confirmed humanity's worst fears about the Worldbreaker. "Transmission from Fleet Command," Sirius announced. "Admiral Patel sends congratulations. The data has been received." Santos nodded grimly. Their mission was successful, but the information they discovered changed everything. The coming battle wouldn't just be about preventing Earth's subjugation, it would be about righting a decades-old wrong and reclaiming stolen human technology that should never have fallen into hegemony hands. "Set course for rendezvous with the Hyperion," she ordered. And prepare the full mission report. Admiral Patel needs to know exactly what we're dealing with. As the Aurora disappeared into the darkness of space, Santos knew that the next phase of this conflict would determine not just Earth's fate, but the future of human advancement throughout the galaxy. Breaking chains. Admiral Kira Patel stood on the Hyperion's bridge as Commander Santos's full report played in her neural interface. Each detail confirmed her worst fears while simultaneously strengthening her resolve. The hegemony hadn't just been planning Earth's subjugation, they had been stealing and weaponizing human technology for decades. Battle group status, she commanded, her voice carrying across the command deck. Captain Petrov responded immediately, all 12 fleet groups are in position, Admiral. Quantum communications network is stable. Earth's defense grid is fully upgraded and synchronized with our systems. The massive holographic display showed hundreds of human warships arranged in a complex three-dimensional formation. Each vessel represented decades of hidden technological advancement, waiting for this moment. Message from Ambassador Blackwood, Arya announced. The Hegemony High Council has rejected our warning. They're mobilizing their entire fleet. Patel allowed herself a grim smile. Right on schedule. Initiate Operation Shattered Crown. All ships, execute Jump Sequence Alpha. Across 7 sectors of space, humanity's hidden fleet burst into action. The hegemony had expected to face a single defensive force protecting Earth. Instead, their military installations across multiple star systems came under simultaneous attack. On board the Hegemony command carrier Eternal Dawn, Supreme Commander Xylix watched in horror as reports flooded in. Human warships were appearing everywhere, using technology that shouldn't exist. Their supposedly primitive enemies were bypassing shield systems, neutralizing weapons, and systematically dismantling the hegemony's carefully constructed power structure. Status of the World Breaker. Xylix demanded. The station is secure, Commander, his subordinate reported. But, we're detecting unusual activity in its core systems. Something is corrupting the control protocols. Santos's virus had begun its work, spreading through the stolen human technology at the weapon's heart. The hegemony's greatest asset was about to become useless. Back on the Hyperion, Patel coordinated the massive offensive with cold precision. Fleet Group 7, begin your attack on their staging areas. Fleet Groups 3 and 4, push toward their core worlds. Let's show them exactly what humanity has been developing in secret. The battle unfolded across multiple star systems simultaneously. Hegemony ships found their advanced weapons useless against human quantum barriers. Their crystalline armor, thought impenetrable, shattered under the impact of gravity-focused weapons developed in hidden human laboratories. Admiral, Arya's voice carried an unusual note of satisfaction. Commander Santos's virus has fully compromised the World Breaker. The station is preventing hegemony ships from utilizing their graviton cascade technology. Excellent, Patel nodded. Signal all ships, execute Phase 2. The human fleet's formation shifted, implementing battle plans that had been refined over decades of preparation. Each ship's quantum computer coordinated with the others, creating a symphony of destruction that the hegemony's rigid command structure couldn't hope to match. On Earth, Ambassador Blackwood watched the tactical displays with High Executor Varthol, who had been prevented from returning to his ship. You see, High Executor, Blackwood explained calmly, humanity never declined. We simply chose to appear weak while building our strength. Your theft of our technology in Tehran only convinced us we were right to hide our true capabilities. Varthol's crystalline form vibrated with rage and fear. Impossible. Our intelligence was exactly what we wanted you to see, Blackwood finished. While you watched our visible military, our real fleet waited in the darkness. While you studied our public research, our true laboratories worked in secret. The hegemony's greatest mistake was believing its own propaganda about human weakness. In space, the battle reached its crescendo. The hegemony fleet, stripped of its technological advantages and faced with weapons they had never imagined, began to break apart. Ships surrendered by the dozens as their commanders realized the full extent of humanity's deception. Admiral, Captain Petrov reported, the hegemony's central command structure is collapsing. Their encryption has been broken. We're receiving surrender signals from multiple battle groups. Patel nodded solemnly. Accept all surrenders. Prepare boarding teams. And send word to Earth, the chains are broken. The victory was comprehensive but not complete. Several hegemony hardliners refused to surrender, fighting to the last even as their ships were systematically disabled or destroyed. But the outcome was never in doubt. Humanity's long deception had worked perfectly. As the battle wound down, Patel received a priority message from Earth's Defense Council. The classified archives were being opened, revealing the full history of humanity's secret preparations. The galaxy would soon learn how Earth had transformed apparent weakness into unprecedented strength. Send word to all ships, Patel commanded. Operation Shattered Crown is complete. Begin Phase 3, Reconstruction and Revelation. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter as humanity's hidden fleet emerged from shadow, ready to help build a new galactic order, one based not on deception and domination, but on true strength and justice. Revolution's dawn. 3 months after Operation Shattered Crown, the galaxy was still coming to terms with humanity's revelation. The great chamber of the new Galactic Council, built in the ruins of the hegemony's former capital, buzzed with activity as representatives from 100 worlds gathered to forge a different future. Admiral Kira Patel stood at the podium, her formal dress uniform gleaming under the chamber's lights. Before her sat not just the traditional powers, but delegates from dozens of worlds that had lived under hegemony domination. The chains had been broken not just for humanity, but for all. The true power of humanity, she began, her voice carrying across the chamber, was never in our hidden fleets or secret technologies. It was in our patience, our ability to plan, and our determination to create a better galaxy for all species. The World Breaker Station, now fully under human control, had been transformed into a research center. Commander Santos and her team had not only neutralized its weapon systems but had begun the process of converting its power core into a revolutionary form of clean energy generation. In Earth orbit, Ambassador Blackwood hosted a different kind of meeting aboard the Hyperion. Former High Executive Varthol, now serving as a liaison for the reformed hegemony worlds, was reviewing the final terms of the new galactic charter. Your deception was perfect, Varthol admitted, his crystalline form reflecting the starlight. But what prevents humans from becoming what the hegemony was? What stops you from being the new oppressors? Blackwood smiled. Because we remember what it was like to hide in the shadows. We remember the cost of tyranny. The new charter isn't about human dominance, it's about ensuring no species ever needs to hide their true potential again. Across the galaxy, the changes were already visible. The quantum communications network, once used to coordinate humanity's hidden fleet, now served as the backbone of a new era of open cooperation. Former hegemony worlds found themselves free to develop their own technologies, no longer bound by artificial restrictions. On the planet Novus Prime, Commander Santos supervised the establishment of the first interstellar technology exchange. Scientists from a dozen species worked together, sharing discoveries that the hegemony had previously kept separated and controlled. The Tehran incident taught us something crucial, Santos explained to a group of alien researchers. Knowledge hidden away can be stolen and misused. Knowledge shared freely becomes a foundation for understanding. Back in the council chamber, Admiral Patel continued her address. Today, we announce the formation of the Galactic Defense Initiative. Not an army of conquest, but a shield to protect the freedom of all worlds. Every member world will contribute according to their abilities, and benefit equally from our collective strength. The initiative would be led by a diverse council, with representatives from all major species. Even former hegemony military officers, those who had opposed their leadership's tyranny, were welcome to contribute their expertise. Captain Petrov, now serving as Earth's liaison to the initiative, worked closely with former enemies to integrate their forces. The biggest threat to peace, he often said, is the belief that we must dominate others to be secure. As the new era dawned, humanity's greatest achievement proved not to be their technical innovations or military strategy, but their vision of a different kind of galaxy. The quantum barriers that had once hidden their ships now protected trade routes. The stealth technology that had kept their fleet invisible now helped track smugglers and pirates. In her private quarters after the council session, Admiral Patel received a final report from Arya. The AI's presence sparkled in the dim light. All fleet groups report successful integration with Allied forces, Arya announced. The last hegemony holdouts have been contained. And the first graduates of the United Fleet Academy include representatives from 27 species. Patel nodded, looking out at the stars. Start compiling the complete records, she ordered. Future generations should know not just what we achieved, but why we chose this path. They should understand that sometimes the greatest victory isn't in showing your strength, but in knowing when to reveal it. Arya completed the thought. As ships from 100 worlds moved freely through space, as former enemies worked together to build something new, as knowledge flowed freely between cultures that had once been kept apart, the galaxy witnessed the truth: humanity's greatest weapon had never been their hidden fleet or advanced technology. It had been their dream of a future where no species needed to hide in the darkness, a future they had been willing to wait 40 years to create. The revolution was complete. The dawn of a new era had begun. And in the endless expanse of space, countless worlds looked toward that dawn with hope, knowing that the chains of the past had finally been broken.